Hello. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about tech overuse. So it's no secret that most of us are reliant on technology now way more than ever before. Most of us need it to complete our daily life, whether that be work or school or, to connect with our social realm, to manage our finances. So my question today is, how do we recognize when we are using our tech too much? I recently went a whole 4 days, maybe three and a half, without using any of my devices, two phones, without watching any form of TV, without being on my laptop. And that was the most freeing time I've had in a while. And so I started to think about some check in questions that we can just ask ourselves to see how we're doing and whether or not we need a break. Um, I want to encourage people to ask themselves, what is the most problematic app that I use right now? Um, what's the one that you get lost in or find yourself doom scrolling or something like that? If you've identified that app, now ask yourself, how is this app affecting my mental health? Is it triggering anxiety or that FOMO, fear of missing out, fear that we're not doing enough in our lives? Does it play upon sadness, depression, loneliness, things like that? So try to identify the emotional cost of being so connected to this app right now. And then ask yourself, is this a distraction? And if so, what am I distracting myself from? Is there a specific stressor or problem that I'm avoiding? Or am I just avoiding connecting with myself? Like it's hard to ask ourselves, how am I actually doing? And why am I feeling this way? Beyond those questions, it's important to disconnect every once in a while. And maybe you can't do the 3 or 4 days right now like I did. But try to implement a tech free zone at home or outside, or in the car, which can be an important place. Um, Try to recognize that when we're so hooked into devices, when we originally try to take space from them, we can experience withdrawal. And withdrawal just looks like irritability, an uptick in our anxiety, or actually starting to feel some of our sadness, isolation, and depression. So anticipate that there will be a withdrawal effect. Right? Some people even experience what we call phantom rings. And so they may not be around their phone or they may put it down, but you feel like it's ringing or vibrating and you just want to pick it back up and check it. And so that shows that a lot of times we build a dependency to something that we have access to so much. The last thing I want to introduce is the difference between consumption versus creation online. So ask yourself and maybe put like a percentage to it, is what percent of my time online is consuming? When we're on Facebook or Instagram, Snapchat, we're consuming information that people send to us, and that plays upon our mental health, right? When we watch the news, when we're binge watching Netflix, there's so much consumption going on that it disconnects us from how we're feeling and why. Creation is what we want to start to refocus on. Creation can be writing a story, creating a character for a game or for Dungeons and Dragons, creating a map. So it's something that accesses a different part of our brain that allows us to engage in some fantasy, some exploration, and a lot of times some connection to self. So that's my encouragement to you, is to kind of rate how much am I consuming, how much am I creating, and be very curious about the apps that you're using and why. That's all for now.